So today we will start with chapter 10. Let's look at the so the summary, the acronyms that you can remember it with is C. So source of everything, that's the first 7 verses. It has the Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita, 8 to 11. And then Krishna, somewhere around 12 or probably 21, 21-ish is more closer number where Krishna starts talking about his opulences. So he's going to talk about everything, mountains and animals and fishes and who am I. So everywhere you can see Krishna's opulence, right? So that's what the acronym is. Let me go back to the chapter. Okay, so chapter 9, it ended with Krishna's instruction, fix your mind upon me. Okay. How to fix your mind upon Krishna will be elaborated in this chapter. He will speak about his opulences upon which devotees can fix their minds. Right? So generally when we see something opulent, powerful, we actually forget Krishna. We get so attracted to something that is opulent and beautiful or powerful. We forget Krishna. But after reading this chapter, we'll see Krishna in anything that's opulent, beautiful, or powerful. So whenever you see a beautiful, powerful, opulent thing, instead of developing an envy or a desire to have that, you will be having a sense of appreciation towards Krishna. That, oh, this is Krishna's manifestation, right? So when Hanuman, when he went to Lanka, he flew over, right? He flew over the ocean. He went to Lanka, and there he saw Ravan lying on a huge bed. Okay, and he was appreciative, right? No, Hanumanji was thinking that, hey, this guy has so much power and opulence. Why doesn't he take up to bhakti? Why doesn't he surrender to Lord Ram? So that's the mood. He was not looking at, oh, such a rich guy, and wish I could have that opulence. No. So that's what Krishna is doing in this chapter, right? So the acronym is C, as we talked about, right? So the first one, as I said, source of everything. S stands for source of everything. Spiritual science is very different than modern science. Modern science is founded upon the method of ascending knowledge. What that means is that, I will figure it out. So, I will do some empirical research, experimentation, I will figure it out. But Krishna says the complete opposite to that. He says something which has been created, you cannot understand it without its source, right? So you have to have that idea in mind that no, and especially if I have been created by somebody, I cannot understand that person or that being. So it becomes a descending process. That intelligent being or Krishna, Krishna can tell me who I am, who he is, but I cannot get that knowledge. So so that's the way that Krishna wants to teach us, wants us to live our lives, understanding that this is Krishna's mercy that's coming to all of us. So he's a source of everything. Then 8 to 11 is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. The 3 essential stages of bhakti, Sambandh, Prayojan, and Abhide. Right? So Sambandh is, just to give you, you already might know it, but Sambandh is knowledge of one's relationship with God and the universe. Prayojan is the practice and application of such knowledge in one's daily life. It's called Abhide. Sorry, that's Sambandh, Abhide, and Prayojan. So Prayojan is the last, yes. And so Prayojan is the mature fruit of such practice. So that's pure spiritual consciousness, love of God. That's called Prayojan. So that will be the essence of Gita, 8 to 11. And then later on, Krishna will talk about his opulences, his limitless, all-pervading opulence. That's the way this chapter has been divided. Okay. So let's get on to reading. Chapter verse 1. Let's see what is. Can somebody read the translation in this first sentence? It's highlighted.
I can read. The word
Go ahead.
Bhagwan is explained thus by Parashara Muni, one who
No,
is.
the translation and the
Oh,
purport.
sorry.
Yeah.
The translation: the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Listen again, O mighty armed Arjuna. Because you are my dear friend, for your benefit I shall speak to you further, giving knowledge that is better than what I have already explained."
And
The
then the highlighted.
word Bhagwan is explained thus by Parashara Muni: one who is full in six opulences, who has full strength, full fame, wealth, knowledge, beauty, and renunciation, is Bhagavan, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Thank you. So here, it's interesting now Krishna is telling, giving knowledge, then this is better than what I have already explained. Right? So Krishna is saying, Priyamana Hitkamaya. Because Arjun is dear to Krishna, you are my dear friend, that is why I will speak knowledge to you. That's an important thing. We have to become favorable to Krishna. That's an important aspect of this. And Prabhupada is actually starting his purport by the word Bhagavan. So the word Bhagavan comes from a verse in it's in Vishnu Puran. Aishwarasya samagrasya virasya yasya shreya jnana vairagyoschaiva sanam bhagav iti kana. Bhagavan means who possesses these six opulences in full. All riches, all strength, all influence, all wisdom, all beauty, all denunciation. And that's what Krishna is, Prabhupada is starting with. Okay. So, ninth chapter was Rajvidya Rajguhyam. That was confidential knowledge. And that theme is still continuing. Obviously, when Krishna was speaking, he was not speaking in chapters. So the theme is just continuing. Later on, Vyasadeva divided into chapters. Right? So what is happening here? What Krishna means by saying that something that better than what I have already explained. So imagine it this way: when you first meet somebody, you tell your name to that person. Later on, you tell them where you are from, where do you work. Then you can get more personal. What kind of food you like, right? Eventually, you might tell them about your family, or my wife, my children, right? My husband, my daughter. So it goes from intimate to more intimate. You start revealing more and more. So that's what Bhagavad Gita does, right? Krishna talked about something, Rajavidya, Rajagriya. Now he's going to further talk about which is more intimate. So that's what it is about. But still, Bhagavad Gita doesn't reveal everything, right? If you really want to know Krishna, then you read the Srimad Bhagavatam. And if you want to know what's in his mind, you read Chaitanya Charitamrita. Sorry, I have hiccups today. This. Sorry. So Bhagavad Gita is very endearing. Endearing means that it is very affectionate and intimate, the way Krishna is speaking, right? He's blending knowledge with affection. That's what he's doing. Right? So he's speaking glories of bhakti so that one can contemplate on him through his manifestations. Right? So that's what he's doing now, Krishna is doing. Okay, now um, can somebody connect chapter 7 to 10 here? Because they all are, uh, how to say it? They all are bhakti. How do you think, how would you see that, that flow happening? And if anybody remembers what seventh was about? Huh? Okay, so let's just look at the hierarchy. Let's just look at it.
Yes,
So,
I remember.
yeah, go ahead. Tell me.
It was about saying that Krishna is, let me just look at my notes. Krishna is everything, and
Mhm.
intelligent men know this
Mm.
and worship him, and less intelligent people worship demigods and ask for fruitive results.
Yeah,
And
so yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yes, so no, uh, who Krishna is, right? That's what I'm also read. Krishna says, "Rasoham apsu konteya prabhashmi shashureyo pranavasat." So he tells us who Krishna is. That was the seventh chapter. Sorry, I interrupted you. You had something more to add.
no, I think I just had one more line that Krishna
Sure.
gives complete freedom to all and
Mm.
makes their faith stronger.
Yeah. So seven was about who Krishna is.
Prabhu, can I also add something?
Yes, go ahead, bro.
So, Prabhu, if I remember correctly, you know, that first, I mean, the seventh chapter started with something like where Krishna says that now I'm going to share with you a tattva, knowing which you will know everything else. So essentially, since chapter 7 onwards, right, he starts revealing his true nature, and
Mm.
it's kind of culminating as we are proceeding, through these chapters.
Yes. Yeah, that's also good.
Because
Yes.
before that, he did not reveal his tattva nature.
Yeah, that's correct. Yes. So yeah, who Krishna is, his tattva. Eighth was about how to attain him. That was pretty straightforward. Krishna was teaching him that yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajantyante kalevram. Whatever thinking you leave your body, and if you remember me when you're leaving, you'll come to me. So how to attain him. Then ninth was about, as we talked about, Raj Vidya, Raj Guhyam. It was about love, how to love Krishna, right? And then now comes to 10. Krishna is going to tell us why alone he is worthy of this exclusive love, his unlimited opulences. So that's what it means when Krishna is saying better than what is explained, right? So as I said, the progression, when you meet someone, you tell who you are, then you reveal their character, then you understand they understand your greatness, and you eventually develop love. So the person has not changed, but your appreciation has. So similarly, chapter 10, the appreciation is increasing. Okay, yes, I know who Krishna is. I know I'm supposed to love him, but how great is Krishna really? Krishna says, "Let me show you my majesty." Right? So that's the way progression is happening. So that's what it means, that better than what I have earlier explained. That's what Krishna means here. Okay. The more one hears about the Supreme God, the more one becomes fixed in devotional service. One should always hear about the Lord in association of devotees. That will enhance one's devotional service. Courses in the society of devotees can take place only among those who are really anxious to be in Krishna consciousness. So, hearing, Prabhupada is stressing on hearing because here also Krishna is saying, Shrinu. The word is Shrinu. Shrinu means just hear. And if you go back and look, seventh chapter, first verse was also with Shrinu. Yatha gyasya tat Shrinu. That was also Shrinu, hear. So it's kind of a similar thing. So Krishna is again stressing on hearing. And that's what this chapter verse is telling us. Hear. And Prabhupada is telling how to hear. Uh, how to hear. And Krishna Prabhupada is telling that you should hear in association of devotees. So then our bhakti enhances. Okay. Two, neither the hosts of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences. For in every respect, I am the source of demigods and all the sages. So Krishna is telling us, neither the hosts of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences. For in every respect, I am the source of demigods and sages. So can you think, why don't they know? Can anybody guess why don't they know about them?
Because their aim is to merge with the Brahman.
They're also jivas, living beings.
They
They're
are also jivas.
demigods, most of them.
Mhm.
Shiva is not jiva, Lord Shiva is not jiva, but even Brahma is jiva. They're born out of that energy, right?
Yeah. So basically, they don't know because they come after Krishna, right? They have just, as you said, jivas. They're living entities. They're not part. So it's not. Uh, they have knowledge. They have renunciation, but because their existence comes after Krishna, so they don't know him. And then Krishna is also ever changing, as you would say, right? So there's rasa in there. So yes, that's why they don't know him, right? So even all the Maharishis come after Krishna. So Krishna is revealing that what he's about to speak, others don't know about it. Because Krishna is Sarvakarana Karanam, he's the cause of all causes, right? So that's what it is. Because he's the, how's that verse in the 8th chapter, Kavim Purana Anushashitaram. That I'm the Kavim Purana, the oldest of the oldest. So he's Purani. And even in the 4th chapter, Krishna says, right, that I gave this knowledge to Sun God. Right. So it all demonstrates that Krishna is the original person. Right. Even in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, we see even Indra and Brahma, they get bewildered. So they don't know the source of it. They don't know who Krishna is. Okay, Prabhupada's talking about demigods. They can speculate to the limits of their imperfect senses and can reach the opposite conclusion of impersonalism, of something not manifested by the three qualities of material nature. Or they can imagine something by material speculation. But it is not possible to understand Krishna by such foolish speculation. Yes. We can only understand Krishna through his mercy. That's what it is. Right? Where was that? Here. Because most men cannot understand Krishna in his actual situation, out of his causeless mercy, he descends to show favor to such speculators. Right? So, mercy, it's only through Krishna's mercy can we know him. Right? Impersonalists, they can run around, they can become knowledgeable, so forth. But at the end of the day, it doesn't help them because they don't have Krishna's mercy. Who gets Krishna's mercy? Can somebody think of that? Who gets Krishna's mercy? And think of some characters from Shastra who got Krishna's mercy. And how did they get it? Anybody think of them?
Lord Brahma, and he, through the austerities he performed for like 1,000 years, he had the intelligence to create the universe.
Okay, yes, he got Krishna's mercy. Krishna showed up and told him what to do. Yeah, okay, anybody else?
Prabhuji, through Maharaj, get the mercy through Narad Muni.
That's a good one. Yes, through a guru. Guru, right? So the word Narad means, if you break down the word Narad,
Yes, Prabhuji, through Guru.
Nara means Narayan. The means to give. So the one who gives Narayan is Narad. So yes, okay, that's a good one. Yes. So yeah.
So Draupadi Mataji, Prabhu.
Okay, Draupadi. Yes. How did Draupadi get mercy?
So when she was being disrobed,
No,
she
I know the situation. I'm asking what was her quality by which she got mercy?
she always thought about Krishna. Her, always he was in her mind all the time,
Surrender.
as a friend,
Yeah,
who
yeah.
she could depend on.
Yes, surrender. That was an important part, right? So yes, so a lot of devotees. So and if you all haven't read, you all should read the Brad Bhagavatamrita. That's all about this. The first part of Brad Bhagavatamrita, Narad Muni is looking for the perfect devotee who has got Krishna's mercy. And he starts from a Brahmana in Prayag, then he goes to a king, he goes to Indra, Brahma, Shiva, Prahlad, Hanuman, and then the Pandavas, who comes out of Pandavas? Yadavas, Uddhava, and then finally Gopis. They all got Krishna's mercy, right? So Hanuman, he got mercy by his service attitude, right? The Yadavas, they got mercy by living with Krishna. They were practically hanging out with him. How did Lord Shiva get mercy? He gave mercy to others. So we have to understand how to get mercy. That's the thing to keep in mind. Yes, Pracheta's got mercy, Narad Muni. So, yeah. So many, even in Mahaprabhu's Leela, there are so many devotees who got mercy. Haridas Thakur is Nama Acharya. Right? Rupa Goswami is Rasa Acharya. Jiva Goswami is Tattva Acharya. So, all of these devotees got mercy. So, the essence is, they all were looking for service. Not for peace, not for pleasure, just pure service.
Prabhu
That's
Sudama
how,
also, right?
yeah.
Mm.
So they all got mercy by that. So if you want to know how great a devotee is, ask the question, how much hardship have they taken to relieve the hardship of others? Right? So when you give, mercy is a very beautiful commodity. The more you give to others, the more you get it. That's the way the mercy comes. So, okay, let's get back to 42. He who knows me as unborn, as the beginningless, as the supreme Lord of all the worlds, he only, undiluted among men, is freed from all sins. So it's continued. This is continued from the last verse, like we just read, that they don't know him because he's the source. And then who is he? He's the unborn. He's the beginningless, supreme. So it's continued from the second. So what is the benefit? If you come to know me, the benefits is there, that you become undiluted, you become freed from all sins, right? So that's the way it is. And then Krishna is called, he's Aja and Anadi, unborn and without beginning. That means he's beyond the dimension of time. Aja and Anadi. Aja, these words actually, Aja and Anadi, have been used for living entities also in the second chapter. But this word, Loka Maheshwaram, this is not used for living entities. Only Krishna is Loka Maheshwaram. In the last verse of 5th chapter, Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. Only Krishna is, we use that word only for Krishna. So one who understands Krishna's position, Asamudho, he is undiluted. And then Samarteshu, right? Among those subjects to death. So people who are going through the cycle of birth and death, when they come to know Krishna, they become freed from sins. Right? So, and then how does knowledge of Krishna purify us? Impurity is nothing but misdirected desires towards worldly objects. When I come to know Krishna, I turn those desires towards Krishna. That's it. That's how we become pure. It's not theoretical. As our desire to be pure becomes stronger, we become free from sinful reactions. Right? Even if bhakti is not immediately awakened by hearing, it purifies us. What we all are doing today, it's purifying us. We might not realize it, but it is purifying us. Right? So that's something to keep in mind. And we have to connect everything to Krishna. That is something also to understand. In the second canto of Bhagavatam, in the 9th chapter, which is the Chaturshloki Bhagavatam, there is a word, Rite Artham Yat Pratiyeta Na pratiyeta chatmani tad vidyadatmano maya yatha bhasho yatha tama. Whatever is not connected to Krishna, it becomes Maya. So we have to connect everything to Krishna. Yes. So then we become undiluted and freed from all our sins. I think we discussed this in one of the earlier verses. There are two things: to know Krishna and know about Krishna. And if I remember, I gave an example of a doctor. A doctor is examining a patient. Doctor knows his vitals, body temperature, pulse, and whatever it is. But the mother knows the patient even though she doesn't know his vitals. So the doctor knows about the patient, but the mother knows the patient. So that's the difference, right? So we want theoretical knowledge, know about Krishna, and also transformational knowledge, know Krishna. When we get that transformational knowledge, it changes the direction of our love from this world towards Krishna. If we don't take that transformational knowledge, theoretical knowledge just stays in our head. That's not going to help us much. Okay, let's move forward.
Prabhu, I have a question. So if you are, if you know about Krishna, a lot about Krishna, but if you don't know him, your life doesn't transform?
The problem with knowing about Krishna is that it can lead to pride if it doesn't lead to transformation of heart. Pride in the sense, I can become proud that I know so many verses about Krishna. I've memorized the Bhagavad Gita. I know thousands of verses from Bhagavatam, because I didn't make an effort for that knowledge to transform my heart. So how does it work? Head, heart, hand. Head, you sharpen your head intelligence by reading Shastra. Okay, so your head becomes strong. However, by chanting, our heart becomes soft. By doing service, physical service, right? Service means physical service. Then, when these three things are together, aligned, then that transformation of heart happens. If my heart and hand are missing, the knowledge just stays in the head and it doesn't lead to a transformation. And service also, probably I'm taking a slight detour, but there are two kinds of services. We all should have two services to do. One service, which is within our comfort zone. We like to do it. You all might have your own desires. Some people like to sing, kirtan. Some people like to play instruments. Some people like to do arti. Some people like to explain shastras or read and teach. That's our comfort zone. But then we all should have some service that is in our stretch zone. That helps us progress also. If we just have, I'm just elaborating upon the last hand section to be more, just to give more details. But yes, to answer your question, if it's just theoretical knowledge, it doesn't lead to a lot of transformation. There is a story of that Brahmin who Mahaprabhu was dancing in Srivas Thakur's house, Srivas Sangam, and one day this devotee, he was this brahmachari, and he said, "Oh, I want to see Mahaprabhu dance. I'm a very strict brahmachari. I only drink milk." And he came, and so Srivas Thakur bought him secretly. And Mahaprabhu said, "I don't feel the taste in dancing today." And he said, "There is somebody who is not pure here." So that they call that brahmachari out, and then Mahaprabhu gets very angry. But Srivas Thakur said, "Oh, but Mahaprabhu is very austere." Mahaprabhu said, what are you going to do with austerity if your heart is not transformed? There's no love in your heart. So, yes. Okay. But yeah, service means physical service. Prabhupada talks about this in the 10th canto, 2nd chapter, verse 84, I think. Kriyashu yasta charanar vindayo. Prabhupada translates the word kriyashu as physical service. 4.5. Intelligence, knowledge, freedom from doubt and delusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, control of the senses, control of the mind, happiness and distress, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame, and infamy. All these various qualities of living beings are created by me alone. Right? So many abstract qualities, Krishna. They all are coming from Krishna. Right? So intelligence, buddhi, gyan is knowledge. Right? That's what he's starting with. Buddhi, jnanam, asammoha. So buddhi, gyan, right? Gyan is to think. Sorry, gyan is to understand things in their constitution. Right? What is matter? What is spirit? Who's the controller? That's gyan. Right? So intelligence means to understand things in their right perspective. This is more important, this is less important. I prioritize, I harmonize. Right? So Krishna is saying all these qualities come from me. And Prabhupada, if you read the purport, Prabhupada has talked about each and every one of these qualities in detail in here. It's a long purport. So he's talking about all of them. So we'll just talk about a few of them, not all of them. Right? Satyam, for example. Satyam means truthful. Right? Satyam is a speech. A truthful speech is one that takes people towards Krishna. Right? Then fear. Fear, we all know, where does fear come from? Ayam dvitiya viniveshatasya adishadapitasya viprayosmariti. When we turn our face away from Krishna, fear comes in our heart. Then charity. Charity is it's not just an activity, it's actually more than an activity. It's a mentality. It's an inner disposition that expresses itself through regular charitable activity. Right? Charity is not just an activity. Right? So charity is another thing. Right? And when charity is given in the 17th chapter, when we come, we'll read about charity in the three modes: goodness, passion, ignorance. Right? Then Krishna talks about sukha, dukha, birth, death, bhaya. Right? So if you notice, let's just look at that. Happiness and distress, birth, death, fear and fearlessness. So if you notice, they're dualities, right? Happiness, distress, birth, death, fear, fearlessness. Right? And these three dualities, they are characteristics of this world. Right? So they all are coming from Krishna. So now how to understand this? We can understand that the good is coming from Krishna, but the bad part, no, the bad part is it's not like Krishna is sending fear, but based on our karma, we get that. But nothing is outside the jurisdiction of Krishna. Right? So that's just the way to look at it. So let's say Prabhupada towards the end, he makes a very good statement. Read that. Okay, find it. Charity. Oh, yes. Of whatever we find, good or bad, the origin is Krishna. Nothing can manifest itself in this material world which is not in Krishna. That is knowledge. Although we know that things are differently situated, we should realize that everything flows from Krishna. Meaning is to see the connectedness of creation with Krishna. But devotee does not worship everything as Krishna. But we see the connection. It's not that because Krishna is in everybody's heart, we'll start praying to everybody. We don't start praying to a dog on the street. Okay? But we understand the connectedness of that dog to Krishna. And that can help us getting closer to Krishna. Okay. The 7 great sages, and before them the 4 other great sages, and the Manus come from me, born from my mind, and all the living beings populating the various planets descend from them. So now Krishna will tell how all people come from him. Earlier it was qualities, that these qualities come from me. But now Krishna is telling, no, the inhabitants of this world also come from me. 7 great sages, Saptarishi, right? We know that. Is that Gautam? I don't remember all of them part of my head, but Saptarishis. And then there are 4 other great sages, right? So point is that everything ultimately comes from Krishna. From Brahma came the 4 sages, right? Kumaras. And then Brahma created Rudra, and so forth. There's a story in Bhagavad Gita, read it, right? He creates Rudra, and then Rudra starts creating children like himself, and so forth. That just happens. So Krishna is explaining everything from a transcendental perspective, right? Some say going back to the roots, right? That's the reason. So Krishna is taking out the fascination that, oh, I belong to this family, I belong to this tradition. Krishna is taking the fascination out of it and saying, I am the original root of everything. That's what Krishna is establishing here. So, and Manus are being talked about, right? We know that there is Manvantras, as you all know, there are Manvantras, and in each day of Brahma, there are 17, no, there are 17 Manus, 16 Manus.
14 months.
14. Oh, yes, 14 Manus. So, yes, all they are coming in under that. So, Krishna is just highlighting that everything is coming from me. So, okay. One who is factually convinced of this opulence and mystic power of mind engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this, there is no doubt. Etam vibhutim yogam cha. One who understands my vibhuti, that I am the source of all qualities and people, that person. Prabhupada is translating with that yogam word as mystic power here. And Prabhupada is translating the word tattvataha as factually. Right? Tattvataha. Yeah. So Vibhuti and yoga. So Vibhuti is the opulence, and Krishna is mystic power. Whoever understands that, then we become attracted to him, right? And we do unalloyed devotional service towards Krishna. So that's it. So Krishna here is saying perfection of life is devotion to Krishna wholeheartedly. In earlier verse we read, it was freedom from sin. But here Krishna is saying engaging wholeheartedly in devotional service. So, okay, so let me ask you all this. How, by knowing all this, lead to this effect? Can somebody think? Is Krishna exaggerating? How would you explain this to somebody who says say, oh, no, I don't believe this. How can just knowing Krishna will lead me to unalloyed devotional service? What do you think? How would that happen?
So Krishna is this complete whole, right? And for him, we are his part and parcel, and per the philosophy, part and parcel is meant to serve the complete whole. Correct? And then that complete whole has its opulences and his eternal chit with all this Aishwarya, beauty, knowledge, and his abode, all that strength. And then on the other side, material creation is illusory, temporary, where we are stuck, where repeated birth and death is taking place. So definitely if Krishna is promising something far beyond that material creation, anyways, everyone is looking for higher things, right? And if something makes sense out of it, maybe another person can get convinced. And that's what my thinking is.
Okay. Anybody else has thoughts?
Prabhu, by doing seva, bhakti, puja, and all of that, we automatically develop love for Krishna. Because we basically that's where we want to go, right? And by continuing services and adding more services, we're getting pulled by him towards him.
Yes, and yeah, thank you both of you, Amit Prabhu and Tilvili Madhuri. Yes, so that when we contemplate on what we are hearing, contemplate means think about it. Krishna said, "I'm the taste of water." Sometimes, if you can remember, think about it. Oh, I'm drinking water. It's Krishna's taste of water. So when we keep doing that, we can have a huge consequence on our worldview. I start realizing, oh, Krishna is my source also. He's not just an historical figure. He's not just a Hindu god. If you look in dictionary, that's what the name is given to Krishna, Hindu god, right? And so when our understanding goes deep, the love goes up, right? So when we contemplate on him, that's how it brings us to that level of wholehearted devotional service, unalloyed devotional service. Prabhupada is saying, there is no alternative but to surrender to him. It does not mean that we lose our free will. No. It means all other alternatives. When you keep focusing on this, meditating and contemplating on this, you will realize that everything else is useless. All that will lose its appeal. This is the best. Intellectually, spiritually, emotionally, all that. So then we will surrender to Krishna. So, and then Prabhupada says, all this particular knowledge is required in order to increase one's interest in loving devotional service to the Lord. So this knowledge that we all are doing, reading Bhagavad Gita every day, Shastra every day, contemplating on it, meditating about it, that will increase our interest in loving devotional service of the Lord. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, the second chapter, there is a verse, Siddhanta Baliye Chitte Na Kar Alas, Iha Hoite Krishna Lagi Sudrid Manas. A sincere student should not neglect discussing Shastra, conclusions of Shastra. No? He should do that because these discussions, they strengthen the mind. So when we keep discussing, reading, contemplating, meditating, questioning, doubts, and we can cross-check our doubts with some senior devotee. That way, our mind becomes strong towards bhakti. Sudrida manas. That's what happens. Okay. Okay, I'll take a pause here to see if anybody has any comments, thoughts, reflections.
So, Pari, your previous highlighted phrase is more of a like not doing Krishna consciousness is not an option, correct? Not doing Bhagavad Dharma, getting into it is not even an option.
Yes, Prabhupada, let's read the full sentence. When one factually knows the opulences of the Supreme, there is no alternative but to surrender to him. Right? So when we think about what we are reading, we meditate upon it, then there is no other way. It's not possible for us to not take up devotional service. That's what it means in one sense.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Anyone?
I was just thinking about how Krishna created Manu and Brahma, but Brahma created so many other living entities, all the species of life. So some people are descendant of Brahma and some people are descendant of Manu. I don't know if it's any different or important. I just was thinking about that.
No, Manu himself is a descendant of Brahma.
Manu himself is this, but here, somewhere here, he created Manu, like a 14 Manus.
Yes, Brahma created 14 Manus. Yes, 16.
Brahma did, not Krishna himself.
So, well, technically, Krishna is saying that I'm creating everybody. But that doesn't mean that he is directly creating them. He's assigned that duty to somebody. For example, the four great sages, these are the four Kumaras. So they were technically Brahma's children, but the whole cosmic plan has been created by Krishna. These sages will come, the Manus will come, but they all are coming through Brahma.
But what about here on the purport? At the bottom, middle part of the chapter, verse 8, it says, Brahma is born, from Narayana, Brahman is born, and from Narayana, the patriarchs are also born. And from Narayana, Indra is born. From Narayana, the 8 Vasus are born.
Where am I seeing that?
Number 8, this is a chapter, verse 8.
Yeah,
After
verse 8, okay. Reading chapter 8, verse 8. Okay.
Sorry, so I was just reading this one. Yeah, so down,
Okay.
yeah. After that, from the bottom of your page, from Narayana, Brahman is born.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here, read the sentence before that. The Supreme Personality Narayan desired to create living entities. So they all are born from his desire, but might not be physically coming from him, right? So from Narayan, Brahma is born, and from Narayan, the patriarchs are born, from Narayan, Indra is born, from Narayan, the 8 Vasus are born, from Narayan, the 11 Rudras. So what is being established here is Narayan is the source of everything. But that does not mean that he is physically responsible for their birth, right? For example, the 11 Rudras, they are born from Shiva. Shiva gives birth to them. And in Bhagavatam, we are told Shiva is born from Brahma's forehead. So you have to look at it. So how to explain? Anything you read can be understood at 3 levels. One can be literal meaning, that this is exactly what I mean. One can be a teaching, okay, didactic. And third, it can be a analogy, more like a metaphor. Literal, let's look at a literal example. Kurukshetra. Kurukshetra is a place. It's literally a place there. You can go there. But then it is also a teaching. Bhagavad Gita was spoken there. But it's also a metaphor. Some people say, this body is Kurukshetra, the 5 Pandavas are my senses. So you can look at it from all the 3 perspectives. But that doesn't mean that it contradicts each other. Here, for example, you're not looking at a literal meaning. You're looking at more of a didactic meaning. It's a teaching. Krishna or Prabhupada is teaching us that, hey, Narayan is the source of everything. From Narayan, Brahma comes. From Narayan, this guy comes, that guy comes. But literally does not mean that. That's what I'm saying. Did that make sense?
Yeah, I guess that's why we need a guru to
Yes, for sure.
teach us these things.
But Brahma anyways is not creating the living entities, right? Living entities are anyways a part of Narayana. It's coming out of the existence of Narayana, correct? In that sense.
When Brahma creates the universe,
Brahma is just creating the bodies, correct? It's not, the living entities are all eternally existing.
well, living entities are eternal, yes.
Yeah.
Living entities are never created.
So these are all referred here are all existing because of the existence of Narayana. Can we?
Yes. Yeah, you can say that, yes.
Okay.
So they all are. So Narayan had desired to create living entities, and then he used different people to do it. Okay, hey Brahma, you will have four sons, Sanak, Sanatan, Sanandana. But they will populate the world. But then I don't want to populate. Then he creates Shiva, and then he sees that Shiva is creating all angry people in the world. He stops Shiva. I don't do that. Then so Narayana is responsible for all the living entities, but he's doing it through some other living entity. That's what it does. Okay. Anybody else? Any thoughts or comments before I move on? Okay, let's move on then. So 8 to 11, as I said, 8 to 11 is the Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita. Sorry, not Bhagavatam. And let me show you a slide which will help you understand. And you can, there's some more reading that you can do in that slide probably. Where's my slide? Here. Not this. Okay. So verse 8 to 11, as I told you, why is it called Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita? Because it talks about Sambandha, Prayojana, and Abhideya, all three of them. Sambandha, relation to Bhagavan. Prayojan, the path I used to establish that relationship. Abhideya, the outcome of that relationship. And you can read more in this purport here. CC Madhya 6178. Mahaprabhu explains that, right? So, Sambandha, what was that? The relationship, Sambandha. Abhideya, acting in devotional service. Prayojana is the ultimate goal of life. So, I'll talk more about it when we discuss these 4 verses. But yes, just to give you an idea that why is this called a Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita? Because it encompasses the whole knowledge, whole philosophy possible. But then, okay, let's put the yoga. Okay, this is good. Let me go back to my verse. So, these 4 verses you all should know by heart. Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. I am the source of all spiritual and material world. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. Okay? So as I said, this is sambandha, relationship. So Krishna is telling us that I am the source of everything. Everything is emanating from me. Right? So this one is sambandha. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate. I am source of everything. Everything emanates from me. So it answers the most important questions. Who is God? Krishna. Who is the source of everything? Krishna. What is my relationship with him? I'm his part and parcel because I'm emanating from him. Right? What is the nature of this universe? That everything rests upon him. The material world and the spiritual world. Everything is resting upon him. Right? So without sambandha, without knowing this relationship, spiritual practice has no foundation. If we don't know who Krishna is, if we don't know our relationship with him, we won't know whom to serve or why. And that's the problem. The reason why people go to demigods and worship them, because they don't have some sambandha gyan. And after that, what Krishna says, iti matva. Iti matva means, where's that word? Iti matva. Understanding this, here's the meaning. Thus knowing. Understanding this. So what happens when you understand this? As we talked about, knowledge is meant to transform us. Right? Philosophy without this practical devotion is incomplete. So Prabhupada talks about that. I'm not going to list. Philosophy without religion is sentiment. Oh no. And religion without philosophy is a ritual or yeah,
mental speculation, and the first
yeah.
one is mental speculation.
So this verse is Sambandha Gyan. Krishna is the source of all the mankind. And Krishna is talking about specifically about living beings. Everything emanates from it. Right? So because nowadays, unfortunately, because of Kali Yuga, living beings are now living things. Right? We have lost the knowledge of consciousness within that we have. Right? So the first 2 lines are describing that the complete opulence of Krishna. And then he tells about my relationship with him. It's very natural for us to, when we come in contact with someone to, who has these amazing qualities and contributions, we naturally want to serve them, right? So yes, so that's something to. I'm just trying to understand the place. Yeah, let me see if Prabhupada is adding something. All the Vedic literature agrees that Krishna is the source of Brahma, Shiva, and all demigods. Okay. One who understands Krishna in such a way from a bona fide spiritual master with references from Vedic literature, engage all his energy in Krishna consciousness and become a truly learned man. Right? So Prabhupada is highlighting three things, right? Or two things: Vedic knowledge, literature, and spiritual master. You need both of them. You need guru and the knowledge. That's something to keep in mind. And the guru is somebody who, what's that? He knows the path, he walks the path, and he shows us that path. That's the guru. Just knowing is not important enough. He should know, he should be able to show it to others, and he himself should be walking the path, he or she. So, yeah. A Krishna conscious person should not be bewildered by fools. He should avoid all unauthorized commentaries and interpretations of Bhagavad Gita and proceed in Krishna consciousness with determination and firmness. Yes, determination is important. Then comes ninth rules. Machitta mat aprana bodhayanta parasparam katyantascha mam nitya tushyanti charaman. This is prayojan. What devotees do. Okay? This is abhidheya. Sorry, not prayojan. Abhidheya. Because now they have understood Krishna is everything, what will they naturally do? What will the devotees naturally do? They will think of him. Machitta. They will dedicate their lives to him. Matgata prana. They will discuss about him amongst themselves. Bodhayantas parasparam. What do they do? Katyantascha mam nitya. They're speaking constantly. And what does that give them? Tushyanti charaman. It gives them satisfaction and spiritual joy. Right? This process is not like, oh, chant because you have to. No. When you have understood relationship, remembrance and discussion becomes natural. Right? So this verse very beautifully describes the life of a devotee. Right? Relationship. So machitta madgata prana bodhayantascha parasparam katyantascha mam nitya tushyanti charam. Right? All the time. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives a very good example. He says, Yuvati nam yatha yuni, yunam cha yuvatau yatha, mano abhiravate tadvan, mano me ramatai tvai. As the mind of young girls take pleasure in thinking about young boys, and those of young boys take pleasure in thinking about young girls, oh Krishna, may my mind take pleasure in you. That's what a pure devotee thinks and desires. Yeah. So, yeah. And he's always talking. He's like brilliant. He takes great satisfaction of enlightening others, whatever the situation may be. Prabhupada. So many examples of Prabhupada. Prabhupada actually once, he went to early days, just started the movement in US. He goes somewhere and he sits down and he starts chanting, his eyes are closed. Nobody has yet come, he and his disciples are sitting there, a few people. When he opens his eyes, he sees that all the people are naked there. It's a nudist colony. Can you just imagine a sannyasi, 70-year-old sannyasi, sitting in front of these naked boys and girls there? But Prabhupada, what did Prabhupada do? He didn't get distracted. No. He's so fully engaged in talking about Krishna. He takes so much pleasure in that what he does is, see, you all are so, he tells them that, oh, you are so renounced. You have given up your clothes. Similarly, when we give up this body, what is left? Our true nature, our soul. That's how Prabhupada connected. So, Prabhupada knew exactly how to preach, right? Once a devotee, he was fully under the influence of drug. And he asked Prabhupada, how does Goloka look? How does the spiritual look? Prabhupada said, it's like a room full of LSD. So Prabhupada exactly knew because he was fully in love and when he used to speak. So, okay. Okay. 10 and 11, they both are prayojan, outcome. Okay. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Right. So there, in this one, 10th, the prayojan is starting to manifest. It's not fully there. Right. So Krishna now explains the fruit of sincere devotion to those who serve him. How? Constantly, lovingly, and with affection. Krishna gives them buddhi yoga. Right. And by yena mam upayanti te, by which they come to me. This is no longer my effort anymore. It's under the guidance of Krishna now. The relationship becomes reciprocal. Okay. Krishna actively takes charge of a devotee's journey. Right? And as we talked about earlier, Krishna can only be known through his mercy. So this is prayojan. So ultimately, whatever we are doing in spiritual life is to have reciprocation from Krishna. That's the way to look at it. Right? And then buddhi yoga. Krishna is using the word buddhi yoga. Right? Here, the word buddhi yoga is talking about bhakti. But actually, you might see some places, for karma and jnana also buddhi yoga is used. So keep in mind that some words can be used interchangeably. This is one of them. And what does, what is that? Words. Bhajatam priti purvakam. So the word priti purvakam, is full of love, right? So what does priti purvakam look like? And I'll just quickly show you that. I thought I'd make a slide after that. Here. So priti purvakam is, I'm not sure if I've talked about this concept of strict, serious, and sincere. Right? So that's priti purvakam. Right? So strict means to be rigorous with oneself in following one's chosen path. Be strict, vigorous. Not like, oh, today I will chant, tomorrow I will not chant. No, you have to be strict. Serious means during your practice, you have to be thoughtful and attentive to details. It also means one does not back down from doing the needful to attain one's goal, even when there's distraction and so forth. Sincere means to accept and follow Krishna's directive without envy or ulterior motives. Don't make a pretense. You should have a very clear understanding what your intention is. Don't show yourself what you're not. Right? And when that sincerity comes with love, there is nothing holding back. Right? So dadami buddhi yogam tam, then Krishna says, I give intelligence to such a person by which they can connect with. Right? So Krishna reciprocates by giving us opportunity, guidance, facility. So right, that's what Krishna gives us. The last verse of these Chaturshloki.
Prabhu, I have one question.
Yes, please.
In this purport of 10:10 in the end, it said that even if like someone, so this one, right? A person may have a bona fide spiritual master and may be attached to spiritual organ, but still if he's not intelligent enough to make the progress, ultimately comes to him without difficulty. What does that ultimately mean? Like next life?
Let's see. Person may have a bona fide, may be attached to a spiritual organization, but still if he's not trying to make progress, then Krishna from within gives him instructions so that he may ultimately come to him without difficulty. The qualification is that a person always engages himself and with love and devotion under all kinds of service. Well, it could mean next life. Well, it doesn't specifically mean that next life. He can be this life also. What Prabhupada is stressing upon is the first part of it. Right? I have a master. I'm a part of a spiritual organization, but still I'm not very intelligent. By some way or the other, by devotee's mercy, I came into the process. Just because I took a spiritual master, I made that strict, sincere, and serious desire to connect with Krishna. Krishna from within the heart will give me instructions. Ultimately, it could be in this life itself or the next life, because that eventually will also include my effort. Krishna can give me guidance, facility, association, books, prasadam. How I use them is again still it's on my discretion. So yes, it ultimately could mean this life, it could mean the next, it could mean 10 lives. It doesn't, Prabhupada is not specifically focusing on that part. He's focusing on the top part about spiritual master and being attached to an organization.
But can you repeat what you said about what is the focus?
The focus is the first two parts, having a spiritual master and being attached to a spiritual organization. The way Prabhupada is defining his statement, what that means is, if you have a spiritual master, you are attached to a spiritual organization, irrespective of, you might not be very, just like, I think I give this example. If you go to a local train in Mumbai, if you want to get into a local train, all you have to do is just stand in the middle of the crowd, either to get on or get off the train. Similarly, having that association of your guru, of that organization you are in part, even though I might not be very, very physically active, but I'll still get pushed towards the destination. That's the way to see it. So the important part is that I have those people who push me forward, irrespective of whether I'm intelligent or not. When I do that part, okay, yes, I'm there, I took association, I took up a guru, then Krishna will give me the knowledge whether I am intelligent enough or not to make progress by myself. Krishna will give me knowledge. Now, how I progress will also have a part of my input and my effort. So that's why I'm saying the word ultimately could be this life. It could mean 10 lives from now. It could be, but then Krishna is saying it won't be, there will be no difficulty. That's also part here, without difficulty. That's what I was highlighting.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So,
Hare
so
Krishna.
I think also, like, our the way we guide our karma is in our own hand. That's what I'm understanding that you're saying. We could move forward by going towards the right path, right? Or we could even sway off by doing things not proper, not right, maybe just kind of like drifting off it. So our karma, even right now, with us being in Krishna conscious, plays a big role, right?
Yes, it plays a big role. And if you see this last statement that I've highlighted, if a devotee is not intelligent enough to make progress on the path of self-realization, but is sincere and devoted to the activities of devotional service, the Lord gives him a chance to make progress and ultimately attain to him. Important part is, are you sincere in your effort? Your intention, your attention, and your action, are all those properly aligned? Then even if my intelligence is not there, Krishna will take me. He'll give me chances to progress. But I have to be sincere. The sincerity is coming from me. That's my contribution. That is why Prabhupada gave us these 4 regulatory principles. So he told us 4 things not to do, 1 thing to do. 4 regulatory principles, don't do those. 1 thing to do is chanting. If I'm not sincere enough to follow the 5 things, then it's a problem. But if I sincerely follow them, despite me being not very intelligent, Krishna will still come and he'll push me forward. He'll give me the knowledge from within, from my heart. Okay. Last verse of this Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita. And now this is Prayojan fully manifested. The goal, to show them special mercy, I dwelling in their hearts, destroy with shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Right? Now, this is the culmination. Out of compassion, Krishna resides within my heart, destroys ignorance, illuminates everything with the lamp of knowledge. At this point, their personal endeavor is not that valuable anymore. Because now Krishna, as I was saying, earlier verse was, the Prayojan was still manifesting. Still some of my effort was needed in that. However, when full Prayojan has been achieved, because Krishna is in my heart, he's destroyed all my ignorance, He's eliminated everything. He's given me all the knowledge now. So now I'm fully, Krishna is removing all my obstacles. So that's the deepest feature of prayojan. So the goal of bhakti is not just liberation. It is entering into a loving relationship with Krishna. And Krishna personally guiding us, protecting us, and enlightening us. So 10.10 was the beginning of prayojan. 10.11 is the perfect mature fruit of prayojan. Together, they both describe the perfection of devotion. Devotees on the path, they will make blunders. We all make mistakes. We will fall down. Right? We all are strict, serious, and sincere, but we still might fall down. But Krishna says, I have great anukampa. That's the verse he's using. Is it here? Eva anukampartham. Anukampa. Anukampa means mercy. Krishna is very merciful. I make mistakes, but mistakes, as we read in the last chapter, unintentional mistake. If I'm intentionally making mistakes, then Krishna does not remove the ignorance from my heart. If it's something out of my control, then Krishna, from within his heart, will help me clean my ignorance. So it's because of anukampa that my heart clean, not because of my individual effort. So, yes, so 10.8 to 10.11. Sambandh, Abhideya, 10.10 is Prayojan developing, 10.11 is Prayojan fulfilled. And how does this summarize the entire Bhagavad Gita? Right? Chapter 1 to 6. What do they teach us? How to live. Karma Yoga. Act without selfish attachment. Right? So that's 1 to 6. 7 to 12. Bhakti. Krishna is revealing his identity to us. He's teaching us loving devotion. The path. Abhideya. 13 to 18. He explains us that knowledge, and then eventually it culminates in what? 1866. Sarvadharman parityaja mam ekam sharanam vraja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayasmi ma shucha. So that's the final goal of bhakti. Full shelter of Krishna, without fear. So that's how these 4 verses, they cover whole Bhagavad Gita. Right?
Prabhu, the one you have on the screen, what verse is that? Sorry, I'm on
11.
the phone.
11.
11
This is
what?
11. 10.11.
Okay, thank you.
So 8 to 11 is the Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita that we
Can
will
you
discuss.
repeat, please, Prabhu? How does it cover whole Bhagavad Gita, these 4 verses? I missed.
So chapter 1 to 6 is mostly Karma Yoga and Dhyana Yoga. Okay? So Krishna, by those methods, teaches us how to act without selfish attachments. Right? Sitoshna Sukha Dukheshu Samasanga Vivarjita. Krishna speaks of that. Don't be disturbed by heat or cold, all that. So he's teaching us how to live. So he's basically defining a path for us in the first 6 chapters. 7 to 12, or sorry, helping us develop a relationship, verse to 6. 7 to 12, he's teaching us the path. Who is Krishna? Krishna's identity, right? He's teaching loving devotion, right? Like we read in the last verse of 9th chapter, Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakto Madhya Mam Namashmi. Then 13 to 18, which eventually culminates in 1866, which is about pure devotion. Sarv Dharman Parityaja Mam Ekam Sharanam. Mam Ekam. Ekam means only. Take only my shelter. I'll take away all your fear. That's pure devotional service. That's unalloyed devotional service. So that's the last 6 chapters, eventually culminating in 1866.
Okay. And Sambandha is we understand the relation. Abhidya is we work on it. And Prajana is we kind of achieve it.
So Sambandha is know who Krishna is and what our relationship is. Abhideya, having that path, right? How to live according to that relationship. And Prayojana is the reciprocation from Krishna. It's that final fruit of bhakti.
Thank you.
Okay, we're at 8:24. I'll pause here. I'll not start anything else. If anybody has any comments